Are we looking for another October 7? By the way, my name is Mansur, reporting for All Israel News, and I just don't want another October 7 to happen, guys. And guys, the Syrian army is getting ready to invade Israel. You don't believe me? Well, hear them out. They're literally saying it. They're saying we're gonna come and liberate Gaza. We're gonna come to our enemy, Israel, and we're gonna have your blood flow in the streets like rivers. This is the Syrian army largest parade since the Jawlani, the terrorist organization of ISIS and Al-Qaeda mixed together, came and took over the country of Syria. They've built a massive army of jihadists. They basically took different terrorist organizations and put them into one faction, armed them to the teeth, backed by Turkey and Qatar and other very sinister players in the game, and they're parading now and calling to attack and invade Israel. You don't want to believe me? Hear it from them. Coming to you from the mountain of flames. To make my body as a weapon, sacrifice myself, and have your blood pour like rivers. Gaza, Gaza. This is what they're doing. They're marching in the streets of Syria with a gigantic army of jihadists and saying that they want to march into Israel, invade Israel, and make rivers of blood out of Israel and liberate Gaza. Are we looking for another October 7? By the way, my name is Mansur, reporting for All Israel News, and I just don't want another October 7 to happen, guys. And it is literally forming up, building in our border with Syria. Meanwhile, Jawlani is walking around the world dressed in a suit, convincing everyone that he's a moderate one. But his people, his army, his generals are marching death marches in Syria, promising to have rivers of blood run over Israel to go and liberate Gaza and to use their bodies as suicide bombers, weapons, martyrs, and etc. When will we start listening to our enemies when they tell us what they want to do? I mean, wasn't that the whole idea of the lessons that we came out of October 7? They said they want to do it, and then they did it. We listened to him, we didn't believe them, and then we paid a heavy price. Only this time is Syria. Syria, not like Gaza, is not contained. If this is Gaza, that's contained. The IDF, Israel, is surrounding Gaza. It's very hard for them to expand out or to get support, manpower, ammunition, etc. inside. They still managed to do that, and we paid a heavy price. Syria is gigantic. We have one border with Syria, and then there's lots of bigger borders with Syria that are neighboring with other enemy countries of Israel that want to see Israel fall. And they have borders with other enemy countries of Israel that want to see Israel fall. And they have a lot of support, a lot of numbers, a lot of manpower. And this is becoming their motto. They're literally saying, this is our slogan, free Gaza, liberate, invade our enemy, kill them, and have their streets running with their blood. I don't know what to tell you. We've been warning you for a very long time. We're still warning you. And it just doesn't seem like the world is paying attention. We are having a gigantic, enormous, heavily sponsored terrorist organization that is running in Syria. Basically the same spirit, the same wicked spirit that was over Gaza, where the jihadists came with a startup idea of kidnap a whole city and use them as a sponsor, cause for humanitarian aid, to build your own army and then use them as human shields to launch attacks on enemies, genocidal attacks. And it worked. And all the other terrorists came and said that's a very cool jihadist startup idea. Now Syria copy-pasted that and made it on a grand scale. It's not only Gaza, a small province, small city just kind of by the beach with the border with Egypt and Israel. It is an enormous piece of land, one of the biggest countries in the Middle East, with millions of jihadists living, tens of millions are flocking in, and they're doing the same concept of Gaza, only on a grander scale, with one intentions, ladies and gentlemen, to come and destroy Israel, to establish an Islamic caliphate. You don't believe me? Listen to this. First one is al-Baghdadi, the head of ISIS. The second one is, his basically general, his sergeant, his right hand, al-Jawlani. And listen to their speeches, the same speech exactly. Here, let's hear.
وأطيعوني ما أطعت الله فيكم فإن عصيته فلا طاعة لي عليكم وإني لا أعدكم كما يعد الملوك والحكام أتباعهم.
أيها السوريون، أطيعونا ما أطعنا الله فيكم، فوالله لن تقف بوجهنا أي تحد مهما كبر وعظم، سنواجه جميعا كل التحديات بإذن الله.
Lovely bunch of people. Lovely bunch of people. Wouldn't you want them to babysit your children? Wouldn't you? Like, literally. That is the kind of people that we're having at our borders. By the way, if you don't believe me, again, you see this demonstration here where they're calling to invade Israel and calling for all the tribes of Syria to come together so they can go and invade Israel. That was before this parade. The guy on the left here, or on his right, is the right hand of Al-Jawlani, the guy who's in charge for his PR and for the media and for rebranding him so he looks moderate for the West, to get the support from the West, to remove the sanctions, but also to play that game so they can go and create this Mad Max jihadist land of Syria. And sooner or later, we will see them at our borders. Sooner or later, you will see them eradicating and annihilating every minority in Syria. Christians, Druze, Alawites, Yazidis, you name it, Kurds, anyone that is not radical Sunnah like them, Salafi Sunnah, they want to eradicate. We are witnessing, again, the creation of a terrorist state on steroids, only this time we won't have the excuse to come and say, how did we let it happen? I mean, look at all the ISIS flags, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Islamic Jihad, all going together, chanting terrorist chants as they're preparing to build an enormous army and to invade Israel. Here's the thing with these failing jihadist Muslim countries. They don't know how to govern a country. They always come, that's what Hamas did. They come and they take over a government by force. They execute every opposition basically, and they start oppressing. They control the education system and they control the economical system and the media. And then they find themselves hitting a wall, because they don't know how to manage a government. They don't know how to manage an educational system. They don't know how to build sewage systems and universities and infrastructures for society. They don't know how to do these things. They don't know how to take care of their own people. They were just a bunch of raiders, jihadist raiders who went, killed, kidnapped, plundered, and moved on. And then when they see their people getting frustrated because they become poor, they become unhealthy, they become miserable, then they need to divert the anger and the hate somewhere. And the easiest target is always the oldest book in the trick, the oldest trick in the book. They come and they say, Israel, it's all because of the Zionists, El-Zayuni, El-Sayuni, Baba Netanyahu, Israel, Azbah al-Yahud, Takbir, Takbir. And they start shouting all these stuff. And then they go and attack Israel, and then Israel beat the crap out of them, and then they run with their tails between their legs like miserable, oh my God, they beat us up, we are poor, please subscribe to my channel, send me money and go fund me. And then what happened is, they start saying, whoa, we just got a lot of money and support from the world. That's like the leaders. So we just send a bunch of idiots jihadists to go and kill themselves as they're trying to murder. And if they murder, great for them. I mean, great. In Israel, they completely wipe the floor with them and smother their face in camel poop. They look poor, innocent, and then we get a lot of money. And then it becomes a vicious cycle that will never end. We are literally watching it happening in front of our eyes. And guys, pay attention. Pray for the state of Israel. Pray for the leadership of Israel. And pray for the leadership of America. And I would say Europe, but they're not very relevant. So, pray for them, just because it's nice to pray for them, but they're not really relevant here. They're like so easily fooled, so gullible, irrelevant player. Israel and America need to wake up before we end up having Gaza 2.0 on a massive, grand scale, Olympic level scale of a terrorist state called Syria, run by Al-Jawlani and his jihadists. And forget about all of his jihadists that are in Europe right now. Just wait. Just wait and see once cow poop will start hitting the fan. Just wait. Just wait and see what's going to start happening in the streets of Europe when you have all these Syrian migrants that are clearly supporting an Al-Qaeda, ISIS terrorist running, causing mayhem and havoc in your cities when you finally wake up and realize what is happening in Syria and try to make a stop to it. Or out of fear, you'll realize, you know what, we can't really stop them from massacring all the minorities and attacking Israel because we're being held hostage in our own cities. That is what's happening in Europe. I just gave you a glimpse of a secret of part of this jihad propaganda idea. Send my agents of chaos and jihadist religious war into Europe, have them as sleeping cells there, and when I start doing my bidding for the Lord, for Allah, by killing innocent people, then when they dare to come and tell me to stop, they won't dare, because I will burn their cities down, because I would have my people in their cities and they will be too scared to do anything because they're a bunch of wimps. Sorry to say that, guys, but Europe, the government, there is strong people in Europe, but they're oppressed by their own people, by either the governments or, feminist organizations that they have in Europe here that just hate men for being strong. So America and Israel are the only ones that will end up daring to stand. I know people don't like hearing that. That's their problem, not mine. I'm here to give you a genuine warning. I did spend a lifetime in the IDF. I was in the special forces. I was behind enemy lines. I was on the offense and I was on the defense. I'm a Druze. I know this culture inside out. I speak Arabic. I went undercover into many of these demonstrations. I went to Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, Egypt. I've been to all these regions. I have people that I know there very well. I think I know a thing or two about the Middle East. So trust me when I tell you something very bad is cooking in Syria. Wake up. How many times can we say that? Stay safe. See you next time.